Hello there everyone and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be sharing with you this card. It features a bold tropical leaf background and lots of gold fun elements as well. So to start with, I am going to be using the beautiful Wild Fern stamp set. This is one of my favorites and it features lots of beautiful tropical leaves. When layered up, they look really realistic. So I am going to take a piece of cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to start by placing my base images for the leaves into place. Now I'm going to create a whole background with the base layers first, and then I'm going to move up. So for the base ones, I am going to be using the Limeade ink, and I am going to stamp this twice to give me a more bold colour on these ones. So once I finish with this, I will keep going until I have completed the whole background. Now it's kind of just like a jigsaw. You're going to place them into place and just make sure that they're not touching each other. You can do if you want to, but I do find that this way is really easy with no masking that way. So I'm just going to keep stamping until the whole background is complete with the base images. I did go ahead and add a couple of these small images just to the sides to make sure that it looks like a full piece of patterned paper. I'm then going to take the second layer for the images, line them up on top of the base layer, and then for this one I'm going to ink them up using the lime ink. So I'm just going to ink this once, not twice like I did the base layer. So I've gone ahead and I've covered all of the images using the second layers, and you can just see how pretty they are there. You could leave it at this if you wanted to, but I am going to go for the third layers. So as before, I'm just going to place them on top of the other images, just being careful to line them up perfectly, and then I am going to ink these up using the beautiful fresh leaf ink. So as before, I've just inked this up once and I have covered the whole of the images just so you didn't have to watch the whole process. So once I've done that, I'm then going to add a little bit of anti-static powder over all of my images, and I'm going to take the base layer of the images. So this is the one that we stamped first with the Limeade, and I'm going to place these completely over the whole of the images. I'm then going to ink these up using the Embossing Ink from Altenew. Now this is a clear ink so you can see through it exactly where you're going to go, and I do ink this twice to make sure I have a really great coverage on that ink. I'm going to cover that over with some crystal clear embossing powder and heat set from behind. I find that heat setting from behind does give you a smoother finish. So I've gone ahead and completed the whole images, and you can just see how pretty that is. You can leave it there if you wanted to, but I did want a bold image, a bold background behind these images. So I'm taking the Galactic Stream ink and I'm just going to ink blender over all of those images. So that's the reason we have the embossing ink on them. So that's going to resist this ink that we put down. Once I've finished, I'm then going to take a tissue and I'm just going to wipe away the residue ink because we don't want that going anywhere else. I'm then going to take my metallic watercolor set from Altenew, and I'm just going to mix this beautiful gold with some water and just add a couple of flicks and splatters onto my card. And then once that I'm happy with the amount that's on there, I'm going to leave this to dry. Once my background is drying, I'm then going to take the fine alphabet die set, and I've cut my sentiment 4 times out of the beautiful navy cardstock and then once out of some gold. So this is going to give me a really great stack sentiment, kind of like a chipboard one. I am adding them together using some glue tape and adding the gold one to the top. I've then taken the fine Ferns cover die, and again I've cut this out of some gold cardstock. Now this is going to give you lots of different frames that you can play around with. I didn't use all of them on my card, but I can keep them for future projects. All I'm going to do is make sure that my sentiment fits within one of them, and then I'm going to go with it. Now I did want to put this straight onto my card base, but I found that the words were getting a little bit lost with that really bold and bright background that we have there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the largest frame, I'm going to add this on to some of the vellum, and then I'm going to cut around this. I do use a ruler just to make sure that those edges are nice and straight. Again, I'm just going to take the glue tape and then add in this smaller frame within that larger one. Now, if you are using vellum, you can see straight through it. So if you use the guidelines on your mat, it's really going to help you get these little fine frames nice and straight. Once I'm happy with that one, I'm then going to add the sentiment into place. Again, using the guidelines through my vellum, I can see where these little words need to be and where they are centered. For the larger word, I kind of make sure that the two end letters of the bold are in the right places, and then I can add the ones in the center. So this is going to give you a great edge on either side, which is equal on both sides. So I'm going to add all those in again with my glue tape, and then going to flip this over, and I'm going to add this to my panel. Now for this one, I'm going to use little dots of some wet glue, just so I can't see the glue behind the sentiment. And I do find that using the wet glue really works well for that. I did want to add a touch more gold, so I've just taken one of those fine frames again. I'm just going to glue that into place using my glue tape, just making sure those edges are nice and straight. And here is my card complete. I really do love how this turned out. It could even be a piece of wall art if you wanted to. I really do love the mix of the bold background as well as the Be Bold sentiment in the gold as well. So again, thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you do want to watch a couple more videos, there's a couple more here that you can watch at your leisure. Also, if you don't want to miss out on any videos that we do upload to the Altenew channel, please subscribe so you won't miss out. Again, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.